All right. Everybody says they're chasing a dream, but what does that look like at 3 a.m. in a studio? You don't see the late nights. You only see the pressure. You don't see the credits or the hard work behind it. You're now in a mix. What's up, guys? Today we're sitting down with AyeNate, producer, engineer, and studio owner, someone who turned late nights into real credits and real growth. Before we get into the big sessions, let's start from the beginning. How did everything start with production for you?
Man, I would say for me, everything started. I was always in music pretty much my whole life. So I was in drumline all the way back from the end of elementary school, 6th grade, 5th grade. Dad was playing the drums, kind of just for fun, you know? But that's really where like the love grew for me for music. And then kind of just elevated from there, stayed in drumline, junior high, all the way through high school. And then towards the end of high school, you know, you got to figure out like, what am I doing with my life, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And there was nothing really else that I was that interested in. You can't really make a solid career from like percussion drumming unless you're like in an orchestra, something like that. Everything after high school when it comes to drumming is pretty much like you got to pay to be in a drum corps, stuff like that. So, but luckily one of my friends, KJ, he ended up sending me the demo version of FL Studio when I was a junior in high school. And he was just like, bro, you make beats like on drums. You should make beats in real life, you know? So I was like, or on the computer and shit. And so, yeah, so I just started making beats. And then friends would come over after school and they'd just be like rapping to some little 4-bar loop that I had. And, you know, eventually the homies were just like, yo, this is cool, but we want to make songs. You know what I mean? We should like actually make something out of this. So then I just learned it, you know, YouTube, a lot of YouTube videos. And
so nobody guided you. You just went all in.
Yeah, no, there
YouTube
literally was nobody for me to like ask questions to about like anything audio related. Everything that I learned was strictly just YouTube videos and like maybe going to Guitar Center, you know, and try to figure shit out.
And what made you take it serious instead of just keeping it for fun only?
I really think it was just that feeling of like, there's nothing else that I really am interested in, you know? That was my thing. And plus, obviously, having been in music my whole life, that was definitely, okay, I know I'm going to do music, but the drumming itself isn't going to be a career for me. And I really just enjoyed it, you know? Like within probably a good 6 months of me just starting actually recording people, I eventually even just started like, you know, finding other people outside of my immediate friend group that would want to record. And I'd be like, oh, a little $20 here and there, you know, and just like start making some money off it. So I was like, oh, this could be, you know, an actual business and a career for myself. So
That's tight. That's tight. Let's fast forward to your first studio. When did you decide to do that?
So if we're considering my home studio, my first studio, then that was like kind of out of necessity because in the very beginning, it was just a computer in my living room and some super shitty like desktop speakers, you know, just something that played sound. And, you know, eventually we're like, yo, we should make like an actual room. Luckily, we had an extra bedroom in my house. And so we were just like, yeah, I asked my mom, can we turn this into a studio? And she was cool with it.
Hell yeah.
So my brother and my dad, one time, I think I was gone out of town for like a weekend. And I came back and they had built a booth inside of that room. And so we just, you know.
So they were supportive.
Yeah, took it
That's
from there.
tight. And how did you take it outside to your actual own studio outside of your house, you know, which is now called Loud House?
Loud House, yeah, yep. So, I mean, shoot, there's a good, 10 years in between that? So
there's a big transition.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, I mean,
cool.
even today, like the home studio here is still rocking, you know, it's still very profitable and, you know, it's a good space. People enjoy the vibe. Soon, hopefully, I'll be opening up an actual building here for a studio, but I just got to find the right engineer to run it while I'm in LA pretty much.
Would you say you built it by yourself or did you have some help as far as like your friends, your family when it comes to the Loud House? Or is it all you where, hey, I need to make this into an actual business? And
no, so Loud House actually was brought to me through two of, they were coworkers at Paramount. So it was other engineers that I had became friends with. One of them, he was a little bit older and established that had already been at Paramount for probably 10 plus years. He was already like solidified recording. His name's Adam. And then my other business partner, his name's Jeff. He had started running maybe like a month or two after I did. And so me and him are around the same, you know, as far as like our come up and everything. But yeah, so shortly after the pandemic had kind of like slowed down, they had, were looking for a partner because they had found a spot. And they're like, yo, we want one more person and we think you'd be dope. So they brought Loud House to me pretty much as an idea, and then we all formed together.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How did it expand to LA?
No, that started in LA.
Oh, the actual started in LA.
Yeah. So yeah, the Loud House that's only in LA. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Would you say that opened doors to bigger projects right away, or it was just, you know, now we're just somewhere else. Let's get better at what we do first, and then spread it out to network with others, or?
Pretty much. Honestly, it did kind of start going up right away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, literally within the first week that we opened, we had a client come in, a pretty well-known producer with an investor that booked for 6 months straight. That was our first week open.
Damn.
Yeah. So, and it was crazy. Like the guy, basically there used to be a studio there. And I think it had shut down, and I think it might have been the room next to us or something like that. But he just came knocking on the door one day, and we just like answered the ring, and I was like, "Oh, you want a tour? Like, I'll pull up in like 30 minutes." So we gave him the tour, and then they ended up locking in for like 6 months. And we just had our grand opening like 3 days before that. So yeah, it was honestly
timing,
nuts.
huh?
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. You know, it's kind of like that saying, like, if you build it, they will come. It's kind of like that. Obviously,
it's years of hard work. It's not just opening out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, like you have to have the network and stuff, but you know, when you have a dope space and word of mouth gets around, people will come. Like we had the rapper Lecrae. He came and did a camp at our studio, and that album, we have 3 or 4 songs that were recorded at our studio on that album, and it got Grammy nominated this year. So
Shit.
you know, it's
That's
just
huge, bro.
Yeah,
Cool.
and that was they just called from, I think, either seeing the Instagram or maybe just seeing us online and looking for a studio. That was just a cold call. Like it wasn't somebody we knew. They just found us, you know? So pretty crazy sometimes. Yeah.
That's good. All right, brother. So you have worked with a bunch of good artists that I heard of. How does that work for you? How's that experience so far?
It's cool. You know, people kind of assume like, oh, it'd make you a little nervous, or, you know, kind of like, oh, is it crazy when you walk in the room and stuff like that? Working at Paramount as a runner really conditions you for that type of experience. Because, you know, you're fresh into the game. You're like, could be like 18, 19 years old or whatever. And you're going to be around some of your favorite artists, especially if you're like me in a rap. Paramount was a lot of rappers. So, you know, you're getting food for like the biggest rappers in the game. And
Let me rewind real quick. So how did that happen, Paramount?
Paramount, I feel like I've been blessed my whole life with like, I don't know if you want to call it like divine timing or something like that, but shit just ends up lining up for me like a lot of the times. So basically, after high school, like immediately after, I ended up going to the Art Institute to learn audio production, was like the degree title. And at the end of the associate's course, you have to take an internship to pass to get your degree pretty much. And so I had became friends with the student advisor who gives out the internships. I did an internship for him as like a favor before I did my real one, which I don't know if that was, I don't know if that was legal or not, but I basically did an internship as a favor. And because I did that, when it came time for my real one for the credits, he gave me pretty much the best one, which was the Atlantic Records internship. And
that's sick.
Yeah, no, super, super blessed. And so I was doing an internship there. I ended up staying longer than I should have. I think the max was like 12 weeks or something like that. I just didn't tell him that I graduated. So I just kept staying because I was getting, all type of experience and opportunities and stuff. So, and even though it was still an intern, you're just like getting food and stuff, but I just liked being there, and I didn't have a job lined up. So I was like, I might as well just stay here. Yeah. So I didn't tell them, and I just kept working. And then eventually they found out because I was there for like a year and a half or something. And they were like, the manager, she was like, didn't you like graduate yet or anything like that? I was like, yeah, I did actually kind of a minute ago. She was like, I respect that, but we're going to have to end this now because that's not legal. And so, but everybody thought it was like pretty dope and funny, you know what I mean, at the same time.
It says something about you though, because you could have been like, okay, I need to be out of here. But,
yeah. I was like,
you know, you were hungry to keep learning, which is good.
No, for sure. And so basically that ended, started working like, 9 to 5s pretty much. Universal Studios as a cook and then also Chipotle as a cook. And eventually, damn, I lost my train of thought.
You're good.
I'm gonna cut that word out. What was I gonna say?
Fast forward after the internship.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So fast forward after the internship, I pretty much just started reaching out to a bunch of studios. Paramount was one of them. Luckily, I got the call back from them to come in for an interview. Turns out the manager at Atlantic also used to manage at Paramount. And so like during my interview with the owner of Paramount, he was texting her like under the table and was like, what's up with this Nate guy? And then she just had like nothing but good things to say about me pretty much. So from there, it was just green. But yeah, so that's how Paramount worked out. Saying that, all that to say, it's crazy the timing of like, you just gotta, when you love something and you care about the career, you gotta take all the opportunities. You know what I mean? Like, I did an internship when I wasn't supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Just because I was like, oh, this is going to help me out later. I stayed at Atlantic longer than I should have because I was like, I like being here and this is what I'm here for. They thought it was pretty dope. And then, like shit just kind of ends up working out. So.
And also you going back to that same person, you were nice to them. You show your hard work. So that's the thing about this business, not just in business, but in real life, anywhere. You never know who's going to come back in your life in years,
100%.
So always be nice to everyone. Always show your true self, and obviously for that occasion, your hard work, which is good. So back to the artists, what's something people assume about big artists that isn't true?
Assume about big artists. I would say a lot of people assume that they're assholes or that they're like
cocky
pricks and, or they got these huge egos and stuff. And, a lot do. But when it comes to like studio sessions and stuff, a lot of times the worst people be the entourage. It be the people with them. They egos are totally inflated for no reason. And they just like kind of, a lot of the times they're just shitty people. But the artist is usually the cool one. That's like the artist would be like apologizing for the homies sometimes. The homies. Yeah. So a lot of times, of course, there's, outliers and stuff. But most of the times the artists themselves, pretty solid. But it's like the people with them that be kind of just like fucking the vibe up sometimes.
Who surprised you the most with their work ethic?
Work ethic. I wouldn't say anybody really surprised me because, in my opinion, to get to a point like that, your work ethic has to be A1.
So you know what I mean? Would you say they're keeping that work ethic even though they're already up there?
Yeah. For sure. I think anybody, especially in this day and age, anybody succeeding in anything, you're going hard, especially because like content is so powerful. You're making content all the time. You're making your music all the time. Like, you never really take a break. It's really like a 24/7 thing. And even if you have a team, you're still leading the force on everything, So I wouldn't even say anybody really surprised me because I kind of just assume if you're at that level, you got to be going hard for sure.
Nobody stood out. We're like, man, he's on his shit like extra compared to everyone else. They're just all up there, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're all kind of, they all kind of just do their thing in different ways. You know what I mean?
Good. How structured are your sessions at that level with the, bigger artists?
It also varies because everybody's workflow is different. Some people will come in prepared with everything and they'll have like a timeline. Every 2 hours, I want to do a new song. The first half is going to be focused on this, second half on this. Some people come in and just do something line by line, but they're such quick thinkers that they can do songs really fast, So everybody's workflow is different. Me personally, I would just like to be as fast as possible. I don't like studio sessions where we don't get anything done. Yeah. Because it feels like, what are we doing?
What are we here
Also, I like people to get value for what they're paying for. We charge a lot at Loud House. You know what I'm saying? Especially like with me engineering, it's a good amount of money. So it's like, I don't want somebody to leave feeling unaccomplished, you know? So I like to get the work in. But if somebody wants to just sit there and
pay you,
and listen to beats for 4 hours, cool, bro. Like, or if you want to talk, a lot of artists kind of just want to vent during sessions. You want to do that? I'm all here for it, for sure.
What was the craziest studio moment you could share?
Ooh, craziest studio moment I can share. I'll say there was a really dope one back when I believe I was assisting. I might have still been a runner at Paramount. But there was a day where it was at the studio called Encore, and YG had the front room, and he had showed up early before. I think it might have been before his session started, and he was kind of just chilling or whatever. But me and him were like the only people in the building. And it was on a night where Elon Musk had launched one of those rockets. Mm-hmm. And it was like the first time they had did that. And I don't know if you've seen, but the sky, when those rockets go off, they look crazy. Like they look like what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? It's like it's really nuts. But so I had just like walked outside. I was just looking at the sky and I seen it and it looked like alien shit, bro. And I was like, I never just go up to the artist like that, especially if somebody as big as YG. Yeah. I was like, yo, you can't miss this. This is nuts.
You called them outside?
Yeah, so I went in there. I was like, hey, bro, you got to see it. It's like aliens outside. He was like, what? And he came out like immediately too, like no hesitation. Yeah. Bro just came out and we were just looking at the sky and we were both like, yo, like what the fuck is that? And there's a ladder to the roof. And bro like went over there and he was like, I got to get close. We went up the ladder to the roof and was just like looking at this rocket ship. Eventually we found out it was like a rocket, but it looked crazy. We were both tripping like the whole night. I would say that was probably like one of the funnier, like crazy studio moments.
Did he add any lyrics about it? I'm just kidding.
No, I don't think
that would have been funny. Yeah. What was the longest session you ever done?
I recorded for 16 hours straight. Yeah, that was a rough one. I would say
the whole album or?
Nah, it's probably like 2 songs.
Yeah?
Sometimes we take a long time on songs. Yeah, there was like a 16-hour. So most sessions, artists will book 12s because you get a discount with a 12-block rate. So 12 is like pretty typical, especially like bigger studios like Paramount and stuff. But the longest I think actually was at the Loud House, and we just did like hella overtime. We just like kept going like 1 hour at a time.
How do you do it? Are you taking breaks or are you just like, let's go all in, let's lock in?
I'm a workhorse, bro. I just lock in. I don't know. A lot of engineers, they drink a lot of coffee or, you know, like other stuff to like stay awake. I just drink water, bro.
Natural.
That's just it. Sometimes you'll kind of nod off a little bit, but when you fight through it for like a good 20 minutes, you're up. You know what I mean? So
especially with music always helps. I always tell myself like, sometimes I feel like I need a Celsius or an energy drink, but I'm like, let me just turn up the volume and it works way better than a freaking energy drink, you know?
No, facts. And I just be like worried about my health too. It's like if you get on that, most engineers are like addicted to coffee. I'm like, bro, that shit is not good for you, like at all. So I just try to stay away from that shit, and you know, I kind of just fight through it a little bit. And,
that's good. Yeah. Have you ever heard a record in progress and knew instantly it was a special?
There's been plenty of songs that I think are like dope as fuck that I'm like, yo, this is special for sure. I think the only time you get the feeling where you know it's going to go up, it's usually about the moment around the song. It has to be some type of social media buzz that you know, like, say, for instance, 2 artists are beefing in like real life. And then one of them comes and they make a diss song. You record, you're like, oh, I know this is going to go up because of the situation surrounding it. It doesn't always have to be that. It could be like a love song, for instance, or something like that. Like
there's a story behind it.
Yeah, like one of my clients, Benny Sullivan, he's a YouTuber. He did a song announcing the pregnancy of his, baby moms with the child and everything. Sorry. And so we knew, like, because the announcement was in the video. So it's like we knew that was going to be like a crazy ass moment. So like instances like that, when you're recording something and you know the moment around it is going to be big, that's kind of when you know. But there's plenty of songs where I'm like, oh my God, this is special, and it doesn't do shit. just because it's a great song, but there wasn't no moment behind it, or like they didn't get the proper marketing and shit, you know.
What about the other way around? Have you seen songs where you're like, this is all right, and then blows up out of nowhere?
I wouldn't say I've recorded any like that, but there's been plenty where I'm just like, song's ass, bro, and then it just is like viral as fuck.
Social media, bro.
Yeah, no, it just like goes crazy.
You work with reggaeton artists too, right? Is there a big difference between hip hop and reggaeton artists that you've seen in the studio?
No, I wouldn't say a difference. Well, I guess so. For hip hop nowadays, most of it is like bar for bar. They'll just one line at a time, kind of like freestyle shit off the top of their head. Reggaeton, most of the people that I've been recording for reggaeton, it's already all planned. They already had the beat with the stems ready. They already had the song like rehearsed and like written, and they just go in and like they'll usually do like chunks of it at a time. I don't think I've ever recorded a reggaeton artist that was just like line for line, just off the top of the head doing songs. So I would say that's probably the main difference.
That's it. That's cool. So from the studio side, let me ask you this on my opinion, my perspective on what I feel like is going on. So as a DJ, I feel like hip hop hasn't really been making as many club records. Like the artists are not making that many club records. They're not really focusing on like dancing club records as they used to. I asked this question to a couple of friends before, and they told me it might be because they're focusing on streaming. You know, they want the plays instead of I'm doing this for the club crowd, blah, blah, blah. How do you feel about it? Do you see that happening, or from your perspective, they might be making those club records, they're just not getting out there as much as they used to? Let me give you a good example. YG years ago, I could go like in 1 hour, I could play 5 YG songs, and they all hit.
Go out, yeah.
You know, the latest club record as far as hip hop that I have heard that I could still play at midnight, play Kendrick, but it wasn't made for the club. You know,
right?
You know, so it's kind of confusing to me. So that's what I'm trying to get your opinion on, and kind of see how can we get those hip hop artists to make more club records, because that's for the DJs. If you get the DJs to play your shit, you know, you're gonna go bigger. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like it's tough because of regionality. So I think for sure on the East Coast and more in the South, like say like Atlanta clubs and stuff like that, they're probably mostly playing the hip hop artist stuff over there. You know what I mean? And that shit will hit over there, like the Lil Baby and the like that type of stuff. Future.
Yeah.
You know,
meaning they're considered club hits over there. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would say probably over there. That's probably mostly what they're playing in the clubs. I think we're just conflicted because we're Cali, and over here they don't really play the Cali shit. Is what is like the general consensus, I feel like. But also we're probably not playing what they got going on over here as much. You know what I mean? So
it limits the library pretty much for
I
DJ,
feel like a
example.
little bit, because it's like you can fuck around and play some shit that is popping as fuck in Atlanta. Over here it might not hit the same, kind of like vice versa. So I feel like maybe that's kind of like the in between. But I definitely agree. I don't think that most hip hop artists right now are like trying to make like club anthem shit, except for probably like 310 Baby and like people in that type of realm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think people are kind of just trying to make from their heart right now. I don't think they're trying too hard to make specific shit like, oh, I need this. I want this type of song. I feel like everybody's just like, I'm just going to make from my heart and just like, see what it does pretty much.
Makes sense. I mean, that's a good way to do it, you know?
Yeah, it's the honest way.
It just seemed a little bit different to me, especially the last couple of years where like I haven't really seen hip hop top songs last longer than 2 months for the club.
Yeah, no, I mean I agree with you for sure. I think there's like a shift going on in that space for sure. I don't think I know exactly why or what, but it's definitely a shift though. And obviously you see it because you're the one.
Would you say labels might be pushing more streaming compared to dance floor energy?
Nah, because at the end of the day, the labels don't even, in my opinion, really have the control. It's more on like the streaming services. Say like the Spotify's having like the playlists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The labels obviously are in bed with the streaming services to like have certain artists on certain playlists and this and that. But I don't think that the labels hold the control. I think it's more about the
platforms.
The platforms kind of get to dictate what's going up and what gets featured on like the big playlist. And then that kind of just trickles down in the mindset. So it probably is, you know, to what you're saying. That mindset is probably trickling down to the artist to be like, well, I'm not going to try to make that because everything on Rap Caviar is trap. So why am I going to make club shit when the trap shit is what's getting on all the major playlists? That could be part of it for sure.
Yeah, that works. All right, let's talk a little production. We're going to get a little technical.
Okay.
What separates an average mix from a professional mix?
Average from professional. I would say, for one, clarity, right? So when you like record in a shitty studio versus when you record in like a professional studio, the clarity is probably the biggest thing. You know what I mean? You can listen to somebody recorded on BandLab, could be a hit, but then you listen to like Justin Bieber and you're like, holy shit, like that sounds amazing, you know? So I would say clarity is probably the biggest, and most of that's going to come from like high end. It's going to be the top end of your mix. Cleanliness, that's not harsh. That's probably like the most.
So how does that translate to DJs? For example, DJs and producers, you know, they're flying maybe 5 days a week. They're making music on their laptops with some shitty headphones, and they're still making bangers. Obviously, I have seen the big guys, or when they're making an album, yeah, they're gonna finalize it in the studio. But what would you recommend a DJ that's, you know, becoming a producer to focus and go ahead and focus in the studio, or, you know, adapt to starting from the laptop and finalizing your work in the studio, or sending it to someone like you to finalize it?
I would say adapt would be the more like way to go. It's really about learning your equipment. So it's like, because everything is referencing, right? So listen to your favorite songs, the ones that you're like, oh, this mix is the best mix I've ever heard ever. Listen to that on whatever you got. So if all you got is like AirPods, play that on the AirPods till you learn the AirPods. And then when you go to mix and you're on your AirPods, you're going to try to mix to make your shit sound like that song. So, because that's kind of what we have to do. You know, as engineers, we're in tons of different studios all the time. Every setup's different. Some are better than others. And it's just like, you got to make it work with what you got.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're in a place to where the mix translates easily, but you know, you could be in a super shitty, untreated room. You got to make it work. Yeah. So it's really about learning whatever you got. And you know, that's kind of what everybody has to do, especially when you start from nothing and you just got to work with what you got. It's like, yeah, you need to, you know, learn.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest mistake producers make?
Biggest mistake? That could go so many ways, because it could be on the business side, or it could be. I would say biggest mistake people make is just being a shitty person. Straight up.
It translates to their work.
100%. Nah, some people are shitty and they make great music, but that's just the number one way to just kill your career.
Yeah,
for sure. You know what I mean? Of course, there's people that are so good that they can kind of be an ass, but then everybody knows you're an ass. And then,
but there's a 1% of that. It doesn't really work.
But yeah, I'd say that's the biggest mistake. Is just breaking bridges and not understanding that the industry is so small. You know, everybody knows everybody.
Are expensive plugins necessary?
Hell no. Nah, definitely not. I mean, plugins don't even really get too expensive. There's some like crazy EQs that are, could be like $3,000 for a plugin. But I mean, shoot, even on my template, I'll be using stock Pro Tools EQ for like on all my shit. That's free. You know what I'm saying? So it's
for me.
it's certain stuff that you know, definitely should have. Pro Q3, you know, it's like Valhalla, but like that's like $50.
Yeah.
So definitely expensive plugins.
And a lot of them have memberships too. You pay per month.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do hate that, but it helps the entry.
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't got bread, that'll help your entry. But they're not really necessary at all.
When should someone invest in professional mixing and mastering?
When they have a song that they love and believe in, that they know isn't reaching its fullest potential. I think that's when. Because at the end of the day, this is for your art. If you have it at this level right here, and you know a mix could take it up here, and you love the song, why not? You know?
Can an engineer take the song to the next level with a shitty mix?
Like taking it from shitty to good? Hell yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. There's some stuff that's not fixable, for sure, like jail call, you know, like songs. Those are almost not fixable.
Yeah.
But
sounds wise, everything is fixable according to you.
Yeah, especially nowadays with AI and stuff, for sure. You can like fix a lot. They're like incorporating AI into plugins. So it's like you can fix.
That's one thing that slowed me down when I first got into production, where I was so focused on the mixing side, and I would hear in the computer and it sounds good. I hear it in my car, sounds like shit. I play at the club, sounds like shit, and it would throw me off, and I would give up on it.
It discourages you for sure,
you know. But if I feel like, obviously you have to learn it no matter what. But if I kind of got to a good level, and then someone to send it to someone that's good at it, you know, has the ear to fix the sounds, to know where everything goes, then sure, I would have moved way faster, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I kind of, because people ask me that a lot at the end of sessions, almost all the time. They'll be like, oh, you think I should get this mixed? I'm not going to be the guy that's like, yeah, of course, because you're going to pay me and I want money. I just tell them like, look, the mix will make the song better. You got to decide if that difference is worth it to you. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the rough mix is really good. Maybe it might only make it a little better. Sometimes the rough mix is kind of ass and it'll make it a lot better. You got to decide, is that price worth the difference for you, pretty much. But in my opinion, always a mix will make a song better, for sure, with the right engineer.
What's the biggest mistake you've seen artists make when sending stems?
That's funny. Yeah, so they're basically, sometimes they'll send it and basically not consolidated. There's multiple ways you can like consolidate stuff, but basically when every single line or even part of a line is on a different track, and they'll send it, and like the session will have like 90 stems. And I'm like, bro, I listened to the rough. There's only one main vocal. Why is there 90 stems? And it's because they didn't send it consolidated into one vocal. Yeah. Every word was like separated to a new. I'm like, bro, you gotta stop that shit, bro.
Consolidate your shit.
There's one client. He'll know when he sees it, but he does that shit every time. And
he's doing it on purpose at this point.
Yeah, no, at this point it was like 4 or 5 times. I was like, bro, I'm not gonna mix your shit next time. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah. No, that one pisses me off for sure.
What can mastering fix and what can it not fix?
So mastering, in a very like basic sense, is the balancing and the loudness of the song in total. You get one file. You get a stereo audio file. You don't get the vocals. You don't get the beat. You don't get the hi-hats and the drums and the backgrounds separated. It's one file. So everything you do affects the entire song. So what can it fix? It can make it louder. It can give it presence, clarity, more low end, but it's to the whole thing. So you wouldn't be able to change the volume of a vocal. You wouldn't be able to turn a guitar up or down, or you can't pan the hi-hats to the left or to the right. Individual elements like that, you can't do to a master. Everything you do affects the whole file, pretty much.
So pretty much like when they offer you, hey, I'm like SoundCloud offers mastering. That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have their algorithms, which fucking pisses me. That's another thing too. Like as engineers, we already have so much to deal with learning the algorithms of the streaming services, because they all have different loudness. I don't even know what to call it, but basically anytime a song gets uploaded, they normalize songs because they want everything on their platform to be roughly the same. So like if you're playing Bad Bunny and then it jumps to like some underground song, it's not hella quieter than the professional song.
Correct.
So it does loudness normalization. The problem is every streaming service does something different and it affects your files in a different way. So it's like
compressing everything.
You know, it could do multiple. It can compress it. It can raise it. It can lower it, and it all depends on like how you submit it. And so that's the thing. I won't even say that much of a technical mastering engineer because they know all the specifications of those streaming services and how to do it. I don't. So, you know, because it's really confusing. Like they all have different ones. So it's like you kind of just got to do what you can do to make it work, you know, because it could be slapping on the reference and then it goes to Spotify and all of a sudden it's lowered. You're like, well, you submitted it too high and Spotify lowered it to match. It's really fucked, honestly.
Little details.
Now, DistroKid and all these, what are they called? The platforms that you upload your music through, now they're offering
I seen
their
that.
own shit too. And all the time clients are about to upload and they send me a screenshot. Yo, should I do this? I'm like, no. Do you like the song? I mean, honestly, what I tell them is, does it sound better? If they say it sounds better, I'm like, fuck it, do it. Sounds better to you? Sure, cool. Personally, I'm like, I think you should leave the song how you had it, that you liked it. But if it sounds better, then fuck it, do it.
You're like, you spent all this money for me to fix it, and you want to,
you know. But it's like you can't have an ego about it. That's why I say like,
oh yeah, of course. But I do think that there's a reason why you do your job, and you know, leave it as it is. But to each their own.
Yeah.
Let's transition into yourself as a party goer.
Okay.
When you go to the club, are you analyzing everything as a producer, or are you just there to have a good time and you're enjoying the vibe?
I'll say half and half. I haven't been out in a cool minute though. But when I was in like a cool, you know, it was like 2 years where I was in that bitch all the time. When that was happening, for sure. Like you go in there, I just like to get a little drunk, feel the vibe. And when a song does turn the whole club up, I'm like, whoa, what's happening right now? What did they just play? You know what I mean? Like what's really hot? And is it just because everybody knows that song? Or is it something new and the energy is just crazy? And I love to see like a song just change the whole, probably as you do too, just change the whole atmosphere and really gets people going. Like, yeah, that shit is dope. So I kind of pay attention, but only when it's so apparent that you have to notice.
What do you say inspires your production?
Say one more time.
Does it inspire your production when you're out and about?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's mostly low end because, you know, that's where you're going to have the biggest speakers around you. Usually it's going to be in a club. And so when you hear a song and the bass is just slapping, just knocking, you're like, my shit needs to sound like that. So yeah, definitely will inspire more so in like a overall sonic tone rather than like I'm going to use that synth now. Because
I get you.
You know what I mean? But yeah, kind of just like an overall like tone for sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
The way you're seeing it, you're not like, oh, I want to copy that. You're more
yeah. Influence.
Yeah,
you know,
that's good.
I think that's kind of like a general, especially with the AI shit, that it's kind of like a similar concept. Influence, it's going to happen. You're going to be influenced. That's how we all create. But don't like copying straight is like, okay.
Yeah,
now you're doing a little too much.
From a producer ear, how do you feel about club speaker levels when you hear the DJ play?
Way too fucking loud. It's fucking outrageous. And I encourage, I'm gonna look at the camera for this one. I encourage all audio engineers and really anybody that be in a club, wear hearing protection. That shit is mad important. You're killing your fucking ears. I be thinking about bottle girls. Y'all be in that bitch every 4 nights a week, destroying your shit. You're gonna be deaf by like 40. It's not okay. You know what I'm saying? Nobody talks about this shit. You can go to an ear doctor as an audiologist. You can go and get custom like molds of your eardrums.
Okay.
And then get custom made, they're called attenuators. It doesn't just muffle. You know, earplugs, you put them in and it's just muffled.
Yeah.
Attenuators just lower the volume of everything by a certain amount. So it's still flat. Like you'll still hear me how I'm talking right now. It won't be like muffled and shit like this. They're kind of expensive, but for one, you can't really notice them because you can get them to your skin color. So it don't look weird when you're out. 2, you're going to save your ears. I haven't not worn my attenuators for like, since I got them probably like 6 years ago. And them shits probably saved my career, to be honest. Like if you do music for a living and you're not wearing that shit in any loud environment, you're shortening your career drastically for sure.
That's crazy. I never thought about it. Like, I mean, obviously I heard a lot about it, but I never took it that serious. I did try to, like, for example, while DJing, instead of using regular headphones, earpiece in earpieces, but the noise cancellation kills me when I'm DJing because I want to hear the crowd.
Right.
And that's probably the reason why I also didn't want to buy anything to protect my ears, you know?
Yep.
But now that you bring that up, I'm like, okay, I need to consider that.
It's tough because I also understand your point. When I'm in the studio, I don't wear them. And it's because I want to mix as like normal as possible, even though it is loud as shit sometimes too. So I should be wearing them there, but it's like, wear them where you can. You might wear the attenuators and then over the top of them, headphones and stuff. It might be cool.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to lower the volume of everything. It's not going to be like you can't hear the crowd. It'll all just be quieter pretty much.
Sounds better.
So it's super important. I just got my hearing tested. They say you're supposed to do it every year. I do it every like 4, I think. And my hearing actually got better.
Oh, wow.
Somehow. I don't fucking know.
So it's helping for sure.
It definitely kept me from losing a lot. But, tinnitus. I don't know if you got tinnitus. You probably got the ringing in your ears.
No, that's crazy, bro. That everybody tells me that. So many DJs, even bottle girls or bartenders, everybody will tell me that. I'm like, what? I never experienced it.
Well,
and I've been a DJ for I've been a DJ for 16 years, bro. Well, in the club.
Yeah,
I haven't experienced it, but I'm kind of worried about that because it might hit me later. You know?
Yeah, it's not. It grows, so it's not like just one day to the next. There's just this unbearable ringing in your ears and shit. But it'll grow over time, and it is loud. Like I hear it all the time. It's 20%. It literally never goes away.
That's
like
crazy.
I have to listen to wave noises to fall asleep. Yeah. Dang. So
and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that deal with that. But thankfully it happened. But
yeah, that's a blessing for sure.
Like I said,
for sure, get you some attenuators, bro. Because that should.
What would you tell DJs from a producer's point of view?
What would I tell DJs from a producer?
About their mixing, obviously.
I wouldn't tell them shit. I think y'all do a cool job, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think there's nothing like the only time I'll notice something where I'll be like, oh, like what's going on if the transitions are bad, like during their set. But I'm like, I ain't got to tell them that. You know what I mean? I don't think there's nothing I'll really tell DJ.
You're not paying attention when a DJ is playing 2 bass lines together, for example.
Oh, no, well, yeah, bad transition for sure.
You were the technical side of the transition is what you meant.
Yeah, for sure. Like, make sure the BPMs are like working.
Yeah.
Make sure the keys are not like totally fucked. Like the biggest, as you mentioned, the bass lines, because that's gonna throw the whole energy off. You can get away with if the basses aren't clashing and it's just 2 songs that are out of key. You can like kind of get away with that, but if you got 2 basses playing at the same time, it's gonna sound so dumb.
So you're paying attention to the key. Because back to that conversation, I know, I mean, even myself before, maybe till like 3 years ago, I would never mix in key. And once I learned it, I was like, shit.
Yeah, no, it's super crucial.
Fuck, huge difference.
Yeah.
And I know many DJs that are on top and they still don't do it. So it's kind of like, a weird conversation, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because there's a difference between like just knowing that it feels right, because that's most important. And that breaks every conversation that you have about opinion of this and that. How does it feel? Does it feel good? Then we don't give a fuck what the key is. You know what I'm saying? That really don't matter. But yeah, that I don't know. I'm not like some fucking musical genius. I can't tell you like, oh, what key is that? I can't do that. But you know when shit don't work.
Yeah.
You can hear when it's clashing. That's more kind of like the
mashup, especially.
Yeah. When you
I feel like people, like regular people or non DJs or producers, they don't really notice it as much, Yeah.
Yeah, they'll just notice when it's hella obvious and be like, what the hell is he
and that's
doing?
what probably allows DJs to not mix in key and get away with it.
Yeah.
But I definitely recommend mixing key.
Yeah, for sure.
It will change your life.
And engineers too, for sure. If you're, that's literally the first thing I do at the beginning of every session. You get the beat, it goes straight to mixing key. Because the first thing they're going to step in the booth and they're going to want to hear that auto tune 9.9 out of 10 times. And if your shit is not in the right key, they are immediately gonna say something, and it's not gonna be good.
Yeah,
So that shit is mad important.
So Fit Check After Dark, we like to connect fashion with nightlife.
Okay.
You know, in a mix. Studio fit or outside fit?
For what exactly?
Yourself, what do you prefer?
Oh, I'm wearing studio fits like 9 times out of 10. I'm wearing pajamas.
So your studio fit is your outside fit.
Yeah. Well, how outside are we talking? Are we talking club outside?
Yeah, yeah. Of
No, I
course.
put that shit on when I go outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Give me a nice little slacks. Put some slacks on, a nice little button up. You know what I'm saying? I like to, because I'm 29. I'm getting it. Can't be rocking I can't be doing the purple jeans and the shit like that. I got to go a little more classy nowadays. You feel me? So yeah, no, if I'm stepping out, yeah, I'm putting some shit on for sure.
Tight.
Yeah.
What are artists wearing right now?
What are artists wearing right now?
What's trending in fashion for them that you've seen?
I'm probably just a bad person to ask this because I don't really know fashion shit at all. So people could be wearing like a certain brand right now.
I'm the same way, bro.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
You could be wearing a 30K shirt right now, and I won't.
No, exactly.
I have no idea.
The most that I get is when I'm listening to like Boss Man D-Lo and he just says like brand names. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay. But it's usually the same shit as designer shit. It's like Amiri, Chanel.
How are they pulling up to the studio, the artists?
They're pulling it fresh.
Yeah.
Our artists like to feel good, look good, perform well. In studio sessions, they like to make it an event too, for sure. Especially at like a studio like Loud House, you're paying a lot of money. They're gonna make a thing out of it. You know what I mean? The only ones that don't is when they have very long lockouts or like consistent days. Then they'll come in like, sweatpants and shit.
Yeah.
Because they've been there for 7 days already. Like they don't really care. But yeah, most time artists they want to feel good, so they'll do that for sure.
Does image matter for producers?
What's image? I think image matters for anybody, really. Especially because we're all entrepreneurs
Yeah.
and we're all self-employed. So how you look does affect how your business does. Not all the time. Obviously, it's always outliers to shit. But I think it can definitely affect the way that people see you. And if it affects the way you perform in a positive way, then for sure,
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people, they could pull up bummy as shit and be the coldest producer you ever heard. So
That's so true.
know?
I've seen it a lot. If someone pulls up overdressed to the studio, respect or red flag?
people are going to notice and they're going to say it by being like, oh, where'd you just come from? In that type of way, just to like gauge, like, and it's like, I'm just wearing this. I'm like, okay, respect. Like, you put that shit on.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think it's dope because it's like, okay, you care. You know
Okay.
what I mean? You care. So
It's tight.
yeah, no, I fuck with it personally. I think it's tight.
It's tight. Hell yeah.
And they're the artists, so it's like you should stunt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And sometimes are they recording the sessions or everything's private?
nowadays it's getting a lot more recorded because of streaming and everybody needs content, and it's that feeling like if you don't record something, then you're kind of wasting the moment. You know what I mean? Which really sucks. But yeah, so that's happening a lot. But there are clients who are like, absolutely not. They'll, obviously every building has cameras. They'll see the camera and be like, yo, is that on right now? Like, you know what I mean? They're kind of weirded out by it.
Especially songs leaking and stuff.
That's more so what they're worried about is like songs leaking. And, they just want to be comfortable to like say whatever they want. Everybody's like so ridiculed for every little thing. They want to feel comfortable enough to like have little sidebar conversations that,
Yeah.
their personal opinions.
I've seen
that
both
won't get
worlds. I've
them,
seen a
like-
lot of producers and artists also live stream their whole session and they're open to it.
Yeah,
which is cool.
We just had DDG at Loud House. He did supposed to be a 24-hour live stream while he was making an album. So he's trying to make an album in 24 hours. And they end up staying like 42 hours straight or something like that. But they live streamed the whole shit. And so that was like, yeah, that was pretty fucking cool.
That's tight.
Yeah. So that's happening a lot more nowadays.
Congrats. Yeah, no, hell yeah. Everybody's live streaming. Even a lot of artists they go like 6 months without making music just to focus on live streaming.
Yeah.
And it's helping their career too, because you get bigger in this platform. And when you release music, you already have that separate fan base that
Yeah.
you built.
And the money from that too,
Oh,
apparently.
it's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, no, people are doing that. I personally like it too because it's opening up the world's eyes to like what we do. You know what I mean? Like people didn't even used to really even know the term engineer. You know what I mean? They'd just always say producer. They'll always say this or that. Or that guy, you know, like the computer guy or something. But
Yeah.
now, because of so many artists constantly streaming, and like for instance, like Black Max, he streams and he's the engineer and the artist. And so like people are becoming accustomed to like the job that is that I do, and I think that shit is dope as fuck.
Yeah, and that's something that it's hard because you have to educate people. Like even just regular people who are not in the industry, they have no idea that when you make a song, you still got to get it, send it to the engineer, you know, mix and master, make sure it sounds good for all the platforms. Make sure there's so many details to it. It's not just I'm gonna make a song. And I mean, 1% of the time it might work that way, but if you want to do it the right way, that's how it is. It's a whole process. And
yeah, no, super. Yeah, even like sometimes in the streams, they'll just finish a song and then people will be like, yo, that sounds kind of bad. And then people in the comments will be like, bro, it's not even mixed yet. And I'm like, damn, like people know about this shit now.
Yeah. That's tight.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, let's move on to quick questions with Regulator. Rapid fire questions, straight to the point.
Okay.
All right, studio at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m.?
2 p.m.
Rap or reggaeton?
Rap.
Analog gear or plugins?
Analog.
Artist shows up late or leaves early?
Ooh, it shows up later, leaves early. I'll say leaves early. Yeah, leaves early for sure. Yeah.
Loud monitors or low volume?
Low volume.
Hit record first or build a buy first?
You should be recording at all times, so record is always first. Yeah.
Good tip. Engineer or producer?
Engineer.
Timbaland or Dr. Dre?
God damn it, that's tough. Fuck that. That's too tough. I gotta go. Dre, I guess. That's really hard though.
Kendrick or Drake?
Kendrick.
Dream artist to work with?
Dream artist to work with. Right now, because that changes. That changes a lot for me. Right now, I'm going Leon Thomas for sure.
Overall,
Drake. Yeah, gotta be Drake.
song you wish you engineer?
Ooh, damn. I mean, there's so many. I'll say again, right now, Watching Us, Wale and Leon Thomas. I wish I made that song. I love that fucking song.
Describe your production.
Oh, I take that back.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Folded.
Let's rewind it.
Folded. Kaylani. Yeah.
That one.
I wish I was a part of that song. I love that song to death.
Oh yeah. Describe your production and engineer career in one word.
In one word, just successful. Yeah.
It's tight.
Successful for sure.
Let's take it to the Loud House. Let's break it down. What exactly is the Loud House?
The Loud House is a commercial recording studio located in Hollywood, California.
Who is it built for?
It was built for any artist that just wants to come catch a vibe and make super quality music.
What services do you offer?
We offer recording, mixing, mastering. Yeah.
Do you help develop artists?
Nah.
Not yet.
Nah, we leave that side over there. You know, that's a whole different spectrum of shit. Yeah.
How can someone book with you?
Shoot, they can DM me on Instagram, either me or the Loud House page. You could even go to our website, theloudhousela.com. Yeah, go there, fill out a booking inquiry, or DM is super easy. I think I might even have my phone number on my Instagram. But yeah, literally any of our contacts, tap in.
Oh yeah. What makes your studio experience different?
Ours is different because I would say it's an intimate, private space, gated parking. It's only one room, so you don't gotta like walk in between other people's sessions, and like you don't gotta see anybody coming in and out. It's all in the same thing. Like the bathroom's in there, the lounge is in there, the entryway. You know, we got pretty much everything you need. And you're just gonna end up with a really good song for sure. The quality, we got a Sony C800 for the mic. 1073 CL1B Apollo. Everything is just, it's amazing. And really the biggest thing, especially we tell clients when we walk them in, all three of us that own the studio, we're all engineers. So we made this space knowing every single question that somebody is going to ask us when they're working. Because what happens when the producer needs something? They ask the engineer. When the artist needs something, they ask the engineer. So we know all the problems that most studios have. So we made our studio the easiest possible for like to get rid of all those problems. So if you got 3 producers, y'all can all plug into an aux. Y'all can all play at the same time, make beats at the same time, and that can all go straight into Pro Tools. We can record that. The artist could be in the booth recording, or they could be out in the live room, or in the control room, recording with a handheld mic, walking around at the same time. Like, literally everything. If you brought your own laptop, we could hook you in, and now you're recording into your laptop, not even our computer.
Oh, shoot.
So it's all the workflow. I would say that's one of the biggest things. The workflow is just so smooth and so fast. You know, and it slaps. It's Loud House. We got some big ass speakers in that shit. So you're gonna have a good time for sure.
You guys gotta check it out.
Yeah.
All right. You mix and master my record, Yoli.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was a great time, man. I fucked with it. I was like, because when you're not like you're first getting into some shit, but when you first work with somebody, never really know what to expect. So I just go into it being like, okay, this could be middle, this could be trash, this could be cool. Yeah. Like, we gonna see. And the song was actually dope as fuck. And I was like, okay. Plus, it was a little different for me. Most of the shit I work on is rap. So that was like EDM, reggaeton, like kind of combo.
Afro house.
And you said house?
Afro house.
Afro house. Called, yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to tap into a different bag for this one. And I love that because when you do so much of the same thing, you kind of get a routine and you get stuck in, I'm just doing this over and over and over. So when you get something new, you're like, okay, like I get to experiment a little bit. So it made it fun for sure.
Oh, yeah. So how do you feel about production in EDM?
I fuck with it.
And all that?
Bro, I went to my first EDM concert ever last year, I think. It was John Summit was headlining it. And I think there was like 3 openers before him. And because my brother, he likes to go to him and he was like, bro, you got to come. I was like, bro, I've never been to one. I don't know what the rave vibe is like. And he was just like, bro, you gonna fuck with it. It's cool. And I'm like, okay, like, let's do it. And that was a great time. The energy of the people, so positive. A lot of like rap shows and stuff, you go in there and people just mean mugging. And if you like bump into somebody, they're mad. And it's just, bro, the EDM shit, you could walk through the whole crowd of people and people are like, oh, yo, what's good? Like, turns up, they're like, oh, my bad, like, excuse me.
Yeah, they're very
cool.
friendly.
Yeah, super good vibes, and the music was dope. You just get tired of standing for a long time. That was pretty much it. I just had to sit down, but I was sick as fuck though. I fuck with it. I need to go to more.
Yeah. That's tight. What makes a deeper record translate well on large outdoor systems? Something deeper, like for example, Yoli, are you focusing on your mixing? Are you focusing on that low end, or it works the same as a rap song, for example?
I think low end for every record is like the most important, really, because when people play it, you want to feel it. That's where a lot of the feeling comes from in music, in my opinion, is from the low end. So I would say it's similar because in all genres, that's like the main thing I'm going to be focused on, really. But yeah, super important because those types of songs are usually played on big ass systems and like huge like festival type, concerts and venues and stuff. But yeah, so like having your bass in mono is like very important so that shit hits in every single speaker and gets like the full punch out of it. Yeah.
What would you tell someone who wants to be a producer or engineer but doesn't know where to start?
Shoot. I would say YouTube, but that's a little older now. You can just chat GPT to shit. You could just ask it anything you want. No, where you should start at, you really need to start in your community. You need to start with the people around you, the people that you have access to, whether that's somebody that's actively already making moves or just a homie that wants to try some shit. And you're going to learn a lot doing that. And it's going to prepare you for like when you excel later on. And having a community is super important. Bakersfield is the reason why I've been able to sustain myself through a career like this. because I built up such a community of people and artists that, you know, when you're trying to reach out and expand to the other areas, you still have something solid that will hold you down through that, you know? So really the community is ultra important for sure. So I would say that'd be the first step. Just tap in with the people around you and just try to make, you know, the best music you can. Try to be genuine.
How do you stay inspired when you walk into the studio and you're just not feeling it?
For engineers, it's kind of easy because it doesn't really matter too much if we're inspired or not, because you're bringing the product to us. You know what I mean? We're definitely crafting and helping, you know, direction wise and stuff like that, but we don't have to come with like the seed. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I feel like my bad. I lost my train of thought. God damn it.
No, you're good. It's pretty much you already have your formula or way of working.
Yeah,
And you don't really need to like come up with a different way every single time, you know? So that's
So
cool.
the inspiration, it's not something that you really have to worry about too much, because you just need to come in with good energy. I think that's most important from the engineer. Good energy, and be able to direct people and give them your input like when it's needed and required. But yeah, you don't gotta put too much pressure on yourself as far as that goes. When you are on point, it can definitely help the session in a tremendous way, but I wouldn't say it's reliant on that, you know, because the artist and the producer, they're coming with the idea.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to be like ultra inspired,
Just
but it
put in
does
the
help.
final details.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. For production, talent or consistency?
Consistency.
Explain.
I would say that for everything. Literally anything. It's, you know, like Nipsey. It's a marathon. You know what I mean? Talent's cool. Consistency gonna beat it every single time. There's so many talented artists that just stop. What happens when you stop? It's over. You know what I mean? Consistency gonna beat it every time, for real.
If someone wants to enter the music production industry, where should they begin?
Shoot. Is that kind of the same question?
The other question would be more like how they should start, like for example, like you said, how to learn it.
Okay.
This would be more like the networking side. Or you recommend someone they want to enter the industry, like producers, engineers, artists. What would you say would be a good way to get in there? Let's say you have no connections at all. Are you messaging the artists, the producers? Are you doing something like what you did with your internship? Would I say that would be the best way?
Yeah, I would say the best way, you're going to need to offer your services in any way that you can, probably for free for a little bit. You know, unfortunately, there's just so many people that want to do it. You kind of need to like get in where you fit in a little bit, and you know, just kind of be there for the right opportunities. Because the key is you need to place yourself around the right opportunities. And, you know, so searching out people that you look up to, and maybe if you can't get in with them, get in with the dude that works with them, or two people removed, you know what I mean? However you can, and just be like I've even had people email and be like, yo, I'm not an engineer or a producer or anything, but I just love the music business. I want to be like an A&R. Can I just be like an assistant to the studio, you know what I mean? Or an intern to the studio. And even though I'm not trying to do what you do, it's going to help me be around it. You know what I mean? So something
That's
like
one
that.
way. Hell yeah.
Definitely it's going to be reaching out to the people closest to you that, you know, do that type of thing. And then hopefully you can like get the ball rolling, because it's going to be a long grind for sure. You know, unless you're like blessed with a crazy opportunity, you're going to have to like put in a lot of footwork until your name starts getting in conversations that eventually, you know, get you an opportunity. Yeah.
What's next for you this year?
Next for me this year, you know, every year I used to do like a goals for the year. I'd be like, oh, I need this and this and this. And I put so much pressure on myself that I stopped doing a lot of the stuff that I thought would be easy, because it was just so much pressure. You know what I mean? I was putting on my own self. So I'm really just doing what I do to a high level and trying my best as I've always done, but without like a title to something. I don't want to be like, this year I have to have a platinum plaque. Because then that's not something you can really control. You know what I mean? I feel like at a certain point, you set your goals so high that there's so many factors. It's not even something you can directly control. You know what I mean? So it's really just about trying your best and having that intention and doing everything you can and just letting shit fall in line, really.
I like that. That's a good way to put it.
Hopefully we get so booked out that we have to open another studio.
That's cool.
Open another studio would be dope. Platinum plaques. We got the Grammy nomination at Loud House, which was super dope. We need the Grammy award, you know what I'm saying, next. And just keeping locking in with dope artists. And
any new sounds you want to explore?
What you mean?
Like you want to where you expand to, let's say, EDM?
Any genres? I'll work on anything. Me personally, because people ask me sometimes that, they'll be like, "Oh, do you usually do this genre?" I can make anything sound better. That's how I feel. So yeah, I'm down to work on anything for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, Nate, congrats on everything you built, the work, the consistency, and seeing that grind connect with major artists. That doesn't happen by accident. I appreciate you coming through and sharing everything you know about production and mixing and mastering. Looking forward to building more songs with you, working together, and hopefully, like you said, we'll see more Loud House everywhere.
Absolutely.
Not just Vegas or in LA.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
No, thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
There you go. This was In the Mix, and you're already in it.